What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 643 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the City of Vineland. It's KB coming at you fresh off a trip from Albany, New York for PLL opening weekend. The Waterdogs unfortunately lost. I'll talk a little bit about that and get you guys geared up because we've got Waterdogs homecoming weekend right on the horizon. But we're also going to talk the Fightins Phillies, and shout out to my boy Grim, the badass shirt here. We'll talk Phillies. They take 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals. Drop on Sunday Night Baseball. But it's fine. It's fine, guys. I told you the home cooking was going to be good. We're going to be fine. We'll talk that and then whatever else pops in my brain because we're going to have some fun on this episode. But before we get into all of that, make sure you guys are following us on the socials. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook.com/UndergroundSportsPHI, Twitch.tv/UndergroundSportsPHI, and check us out on LinkedIn as well. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 and KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads, part of my yawn. Subscribe to the podcast feed. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. It really does help us continue to hit new milestones. Lets us do awesome, dope stuff with and for you guys. So continue subscribing on audio, Apple, Spotify. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews because it does go a long way. And I know I said we've been a little inconsistent with the upload schedule. We're going to get back on track. I promise. I won't let you guys down. I know I'm kind of running the show a little solo dolo these days, but that's fine. We're gonna have fun. Subscribe to the pod, and of course subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. We've cracked 800 subscribers. Let's get to 900 before the end of June. Let's make that happen. I think it's very doable. So keep subscribing. Smash that like button. Ring the bell icon. Leave a comment down below. Your thoughts on the Phils, the Waterdogs, or whatever else is going on in your brains in the Philly sports space. Leave those comments in the YouTube comment section. And, of course, this show, guys, is presented by the City of Vineland, and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors, to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on their social media pages, on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Through these tools, you can stay connected to the city and the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fightins Phillies have broken their series losing streak and took 2 out of 3 from the St. Louis Cardinals. Unfortunately dropped the final game of the series to come away with a sweep, but that's okay. That's fine. We keep it moving. And the Phils are still top dogs in the National League, top dogs in baseball. They're leading the division by an exorbitant amount of games. They're doing the damn thing. They lose 5-4 in extra innings, was it? I'm exhausted, so I'm trying to remember here. Yes, it was extra innings, so it took the Cardinals more than 9 innings to beat them. But the Phillies win the series 2-1. They win on Friday 4-2, 6-1 on Saturday, lose 5-4 on Sunday. And they're going to be fine, guys. They're going to be fine. They win 2 out of 3. It's not like they can't win a series again. And they get the job done. You win more games in a series than you lose. I'm happy with that. That means you are performing at a winning clip. You're winning 66.666667% of your games. And that's what matters. You're winning 2 out of 3. You won a series. And that, at the end of the day, is what baseball breaks down to. The pitching has been great. The offense is doing what it needs to do. And the Phillies, I know how it all shakes out. I'm going to count up the losses because I did say back on April 28th that the Phillies could go 24-7 or better in their next 31 games, and we have come to the conclusion of those 31 games, and they ended up losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They lost 9. I was that close. I was 2 games off. They go 22-9 in those games over the last 31, and they're playing great baseball, guys. They're a first-place team. They're doing what they need to do to beat teams and come away victorious in a 3-game series. Now, my biggest issue here with what happened on Sunday Night Baseball nonetheless, and what has happened a lot this season, and it's kind of weird that it has happened, the Phillies have not been good in extra innings. They've lost 4 out of 5 in extra innings, if I remember correctly from the Sunday Night Baseball broadcast. Or whoever pointed that out, I apologize for not remembering who it was, but I'm pretty sure they have lost 4 out of 5 in extra innings, which is not great. That's not ideal. But again, it's still early enough in the season that like you're fine, like you're going to be okay, but you also want this team to prove that if it does come to extra innings late in the year in the playoffs, that they can win in extra innings. So that is one of the things that is just in the back of my brain, and it's still relatively early in the season, okay? Like, we are in the first week of June, and the Phillies are in first place. They have the best record in baseball. It's going to be all right. They're going to figure some things out, and there's going to be some bumps in the road here and there with certain things. But it is one of those things that I do want to see them be able to execute a little bit better in extra innings, be able to score runs in the 10th inning where their opponents are scoring, but the Phillies are not, and they're losing games just in 10 innings. At least extend them, you know what I mean? Like, get that ghost runner, that zombie runner across home plate because you have the offense to do it. That's my only concern right now with this team, and that will figure itself out. And you're not going to be playing in extra innings every single game, you know what I mean? But you do want to see this team be able to win in extra innings and be able to execute when it matters in extra innings. So it's just a small critique. It's a small thing, a small ask of this team is to just, tweak some things in extra innings. Their approach, maybe. But overall, good win there. And then you've got Rhys Hoskins and the Brewers coming to town for 3 before you go to London to take on the Mets. I'm feeling great about this team right now, guys. And I know it sounds like I'm a broken record, but this team continues to impress. They continue to string wins together. They continue to put on for this city, and they're winning as a team. And that's what I think is the most important aspect of all of this, is that they're playing as a team. They're playing for each other. And this has kind of been the moniker of this Phillies team in the Bryce Harper era, and in particular the last 2 seasons and including now, from 2022 to now, in the Rob Thompson era, I guess I should say, is that they play for each other. They play as a team. They play to win as a team. They're not doing things in an individual effort. They are going out there and performing for one another. They're trying to win for each other, and I think that's key. You don't see that with every team in baseball. You look at some of the teams that are struggling right now, like the White Sox, like the A's, like the Rockies. That's not a cohesive team. Sure, they're an organization, but they're not a cohesive team. They're not playing as a unit night in and night out. It's a lot of guys that are just on the same roster, but they're not playing as a team. You know, you look at teams like the Phillies, the Yankees, the Braves to a degree right now, even though they're missing a lot of their guys. And it's not to diminish that the Braves are not a good team. They're a very quality team this year, but they're missing two of their key players. You look at a team like the Dodgers. Those teams play, and even to a lesser degree the Dodgers, because I think they are just a collection of guys on the same roster. They're not a team per se. You look at some of the teams in the American League too, like the Guardians. They feel like they play as a cohesive unit team for most of this, for most of this season. You look at a team like the Royals right now; they're playing team baseball. It shows in the standings, it shows in the stats, and it shows in just the vibes of a team when they are playing as a cohesive unit as opposed to playing as just guys on a roster. And I think that's important. So we'll see how things play out, but unfortunate, I was up in Albany for PLL opening weekend, and that's why this episode's a little delayed getting out there, but CFO Margie and my uncle were at the game, Sunday Night Baseball, and I hate seeing, and it was a season ticket game for us. It got flexed to Sunday Night Baseball, and I hate seeing our season ticket games lose. I hate seeing our season ticket games lose. And this is only the second loss of the season tickies. Looking at the schedule, we had March 31st, that was a win against the Braves. We had, did we have April 7th? No, that was an away game. We had April 14th. That was a loss. We were 1-1. We beat the White Sox on the Fanatics' birthday. That was a dub. So we were 2-1. Mother's Day game was a win. That's 3-1. Win there against the Nationals. That's 4-1. So the season tickets are 4-2 now. 4-2 on the year. We will get back at it with myself and the OG, our injury expert, for that 11:35 a.m. game for the Father's Day game. That is our next season ticket game, but hopefully we'll get back in the win column and improve to 5-2 on the year with Section 329. And when it comes to the Phils, and before I keep going, I want to talk to you guys about our awesome merch partners. You see it on the ticker below. PHI Apparel Company. They are the best in the game. The official home to Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast merch. From Underground Sports to Outside the Box, Streamer Season, Top Bins. We got to work to get F1 Underground up there, Streamer Season, like I said. Oh, get in the hole. Duh. They are your home for Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast merch. We're working to get some new merch up for the summertime. And, of course, your favorite Philly sports teams from the Eagles, the Phillies, the Flyers, the Sixers, the Union, and Philly-centric merch as well. Go to phiapparel.co. That's phiapparel.co. And when you go to checkout, when your cart is filled to the brim, use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your merch orders. It truly does go a long way for helping to support everything we're doing here at Underground Sports Philadelphia and all of our podcasts. It helps fund a lot of things, allows some of the overhead costs to be taken care of to make this operation keep running smoothly. So get your merch, phiapparel.co, and use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your merch orders. I was thinking about this, CFO Margie, I wasn't there. Sarah wasn't there, so we needed somebody to film. My uncle was generous enough to take over the phone duties and filmed CFO Margie's thoughts from 329 for us. That will be up shortly on our social channels. But I was thinking, I was like, this content idea that we're doing that is strictly just a social media content thing that we post on YouTube Shorts and Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, has truly become one of the most genius, funniest, smartest ideas we have had in the content game since we started this podcast and this media company, is just getting my mom, I'm not going to age drop her, but getting my mom, who is an older Phillies fan, has been through the ups and downs with this team even before I was, and just getting her genuine reaction to a game. And I haven't even gotten a chance to watch the losing one yet from Sunday, It is the first loss recorded for this series, because we started it, I think, after the White Sox game. We started after the White Sox game was the first one, because that's when we got the idea. And we've been on a hot streak, getting wins, but it'll be the first loss that we record. But it is fun to just get her genuine reaction to the result of the game, and to see how her fandom kind of takes over and the way her brain processes the game. It's very fun to watch and be behind the camera for it. It's very quick. It's like 30 to 40 seconds at most. But she kills it. She does numbies. We got to get that sponsored. FOCO, somebody. we got to get Thoughts from 329 sponsored by somebody, because it is delicious content for the people. And the people love it. And we're hitting an age demo that we typically wouldn't hit, because we're heading, her age demo with her friends and people that she's worked with. And it is fun to kind of reach and broaden our horizons that way, and get, a different audience watching our content when we do Thoughts from 329. So it is one of those things I sit back and I'm like, you're a goddamn genius, Kyle. You're a goddamn genius, baby. But I know the people love Thoughts from 329. That's for damn sure. Might have to do shirts as well with PHI Apparel Company with Thoughts from 329 on it. But yeah, the Fightins are doing the damn thing. CFO Margie's doing the damn thing. And maybe we spin it and we get the OG's Thoughts from 329 on the Father's Day game. I'll have to check in with him on that and see his overall vibe on doing that. I think it would be very funny to get his thoughts as well, and just get the whole kit kat and caboodle, the parents involved in content for a very fun mini series we're doing. And I just think about the concept of Thoughts from 329 and what it can be down the stretch of the season, what it can be in the postseason. It's gonna be so much fun. But yeah, Thoughts from 329 has been successful, and just looking at the numbies, like, it's going crazy across the board, everywhere from Instagram to TikTok to Twitter, YouTube. Like, it does really well. I'm looking at, let's see, like, at least almost 1,000 views on every video, if not more. So that's a lot of fun to see, and just the evolution of it and people wanting it. So shout out to everybody that tunes into Thoughts from 329. And if you or somebody wants to get that segment sponsored for us, hit my line. But last bit here, like I was saying, I was up in Albany, New York with Deej, covering the PLL, and we had a very awesome time up in Albany. It's always a good time to get up to Albany. It's one of my favorite places that we do get to travel to cover the PLL. And I'll plug it here. Download the PLL app. They're the best. If you want to keep up with the Waterdogs, our new team, Philadelphia, the PLL app is the place to do it. There's PLL Fantasy in there, and you can compete against the Outside the Box podcast personalities, myself, DJ Chase, and our guy Hoots, who we just announced a couple weeks ago, actually a week ago, as part of the squad out on the West Coast, and compete against all of our listeners, all of OTB Nation. You can get updates and keep up to date with the Waterdogs. It's a gamified app that is also the best way to keep up with the league. You get experience points in the app, and when you level up, you get different things. And if you get to the level that I'm at, you even get sweet discounts at the PLL shop, where you can get some awesome Waterdogs gear, faux show. So download the PLL app in the App Store, Google Play Store, or go to pll.app and go to the redeem code section and type in OTBPOD, OTB Pod, and you get 500 XP in the PLL app. That's code OTB Pod for 500 XP in the PLL app. Shout out to the PLL. Shout out to Mike and Paul Rabel. They are the best. And shout out to the Waterdogs. They had their season debut. Coach Tierney, got to meet him for the first time, and he is fantastic, guys. He is awesome. I am really going to enjoy Coach Tierney a lot, being Philadelphia's coach. We are actually working to get Coach Tierney not only on Outside the Box, but on this show as well, which has me very excited to kind of introduce the Waterdogs and the PLL to this audience. But the Waterdogs, they unfortunately lost their season opener, 15-14 to the Utah Archers in a championship game rematch. But I will say this, and I talked about it with DJ after the game, with a bunch of media people after the game, and I'm sure we'll bring it up on OTB this week as well. I was more impressed by because the Waterdogs were down by a bunch early in the game, and it was like, holy shit, this is a bloodbath. But I was more impressed that the Waterdogs made adjustments at halftime, made adjustments in-game during the second half, and were able to go on runs to close the gap, make it a game, and have an opportunity with 30 seconds or less on the clock and have 3 shot opportunities to tie or win the game. And Brett Dobson, who is the Utah Archers goalie, who is an unreal goalie. He is one of the best in the world. Just was on a nuclear pace in this game and was just absolutely incredible and made every single save that he had to make. But the Waterdogs are going to be very good. Like, they are not going to be falling off the face of the earth just because it's a new coaching staff. And Andy Copeland left this team in good hands with Coach Tierney and the rest of the coaching staff, and this roster is in a great place. They are going to score goals this year. They're going to do their thing, and I think this is just kind of a big learning experience on the fly for Coach Tierney and the coaching staff being new with Dylan Sheridan and Sweet Lou. Shout out to them. But I think this was a good first step, even though it was a loss. You learn a lot, and Coach Tierney said it in the post-game press conference to us. This team is not going to play hero ball. They are going to spread the ball around. Wealth is health with this Waterdogs offense, and they're going to figure things out. And, you know, for everybody who's new to lacrosse, like the face-off rule in the PLL, there's a lot of criticism around it. There's a lot of, you know, discourse around it, and the Waterdogs went into this game without a face-off athlete. I think it was a 1-week thing. I genuinely don't think this was a long-term plan for them to not have a face-off athlete. They'll have one, and I'm sure it will come Philly weekend, which is not this weekend but the following, and it will make sense as to why they waited. You know, the Waterdogs have a bye this coming week in Charlotte. They're not playing, and then they have the doubleheader in Philly, and it made sense for them to not have a face-off athlete when they didn't really need to carry one, and they could have they got away with having Zach Courier do it. They got away with other guys being there. It's one of those things that it's fine. Like, it's not the end-all, be-all. It's a 1-goal loss, and in the PLO, goal differential is a huge thing, which I love personally. And this was a non-conference game because this year the PLL has gone to conferences now with the home cities and everything. Played against the team in the Western Conference, number 1. Number 2 is a 1-goal loss. It's not the end of the world. And this league is such a roller coaster that, you know, from 1 week to the next, so many things can change. And I'm okay. Like, it did not crush me. It's very funny how I have to, like, cover the league for OTB in kind of an objective way, but here I can kind of, you know, get down with the Waterdogs and have fun talking to you guys about them. It's one of those things that they're going to be all right. Things are going to be fine, and they'll play themselves out. They get to sit back and rest after a long training camp and a week 1 all in the same place. Come back, they'll have 2 games at Villanova. We're going to be giving away the Underground Sports Philadelphia / Outside the Box podcast seats that are going to be in the K9 Crew supporter group section. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. And, we're going to see some awesome, awesome fans out at Villanova for Waterdogs homecoming weekend, June 15th and 16th for the PLL. A lot of stuff in the works for that, too. We might be doing a live show. Stay tuned for that bad boy. But the Waterdogs are going to be fine. The jerseys look awesome on the boys. The purple is great. As we mentioned when we first got the Waterdogs as our team, we are big fans of the purple. And, I'm not worried. Michael Sowers, Kieran McCardle, Eli Gobrecht, Ethan Walker, Liam Burns, Dylan Ward, the rest of those boys, they're going to do the damn thing. Matt Brandau looked great in his debut. So, I'm not overly concerned. And that's how we should feel. And we're going to be talking Waterdogs all summer long on this show, as well as on Outside the Box, covering the league as a whole. But I want you guys to tune into the Waterdogs. They're our team, and they're going to be fun to watch. They have a similar standard as an organization that the Eagles have, that the Phillies have, that it seems like the Flyers are turning to strive for excellence, to strive for consistent excellence, and be a team that's always standing at the end, which is awesome. And that's what we want from our teams at the end of the day, is it not? That is what Waterdogs lacrosse is going to be, and they are going to be a fun team to follow along with each and every summer alongside the Phillies, and it gives us two teams to root for during the pun intended, dog days of summer. You have the Waterdogs and the Phillies, and the Waterdogs are only going to be playing either Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got the Phillies all the time. It's going to be a great, great lead-in, and Waterdogs homecoming weekend, if you are able to attend, like I said, is Saturday and Sunday, June 15th and 16th. June 15th, 12:30 p.m. at Villanova against the Boston Cannons. And then there's another game at 7 p.m. between the Carolina Chaos and the Utah Archers. Bunch of Philly guys playing in that game as well, from Grant Ament to Blaze Reardon, and a whole bunch of other boys playing for both of those squads. And then Sunday, June 16th, California Redwoods and the New York Atlas kick things off at 12:30 p.m. And then our Waterdogs finish things out for their homecoming weekend against the Maryland Whipsnakes. So it'll be Matt Rambo, Philly's finest, taking on his hometown in the final game of the weekend at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. All those games at Villanova University. It's going to be a ton of fun, and I hope to see you guys out there. Come support the Waterdogs when they're in town, and hopefully, at the end of the year in September, they're playing at Subaru Park for the championship as well, and they're hoisting that PLL trophy once again like they did in 2022 and win a second championship in 3 years, get to 3 consecutive PLL championships. They got to the Championship Series championship this past winter, and they are striving for excellence, and that's the fun part about a team like that being ours, is that they are fitting right into what this new era of a Philly team standard is, and that is championship success, championship pedigree, and a zero tolerance for losing. They don't want to lose, and this team is gritty as all hell. They're fun to root for. They're a great group of guys, great group of humans. It's a ringing endorsement that I can't push more than to get behind the Philadelphia Waterdogs. So hopefully we'll see you guys at homecoming weekend for them in a couple weeks, or in a week, actually, because this week, null and void. Following, boom. We'll see you at Villanova, and let's go Dogs. That is all I have for you guys on this episode. Let's go Phils. Welcome back Reese with open arms. Be nice, be kind, give him that ovation he deserves. He deserves it full-fledged, full-heartedly. Show your love and support for Reese Hoskins this coming week. And then we get set for London, isn't it? It's London time over there. Not on a Tuesday, innit, though. The London series coming up this coming weekend is going to be a lot of fun against the Mets. So We'll talk London series on the next episode for sure. We'll talk Rhys Hoskins and how things go against the Brewers. But make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook.com/UndergroundSportsPHI, Twitch.tv/UndergroundSportsPHI. You can follow me at KBIZZL311 on Twitter, KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the podcast feed. For the love of Christ, subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple, Spotify. Let's keep those numbies pushing. Subscribe. Leave a 5-star rating and review on those platforms as well. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. Let's get to 900 subscribers before the end of June. Smash that like button. Ring the bell icon. Leave a comment down below your thoughts on the Phils, the Waterdogs, whatever other Philly sports news you want to hear me talk about on this show during the summertime. I'm not going to bullshit about OTAs. That does nothing. But if big Philly sports news comes across, you know we're talking about it. And of course, guys, this show is presented by the City of Vineland. And whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you are considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been a sleepy haha post-travel trip episode of Underground Sports Philadelphia, episode number 643, presented by the City of Vineland. I'm your boy, KB. I'll be back on the next episode talking to Brewers series, talking whatever the hell else pops up. Because that's what I do on this show now. But until then, I'm getting that cup out of here. I'm signing off. Peace.